In Module 7, we talk about geothermal energy, in which it is the heat or thermal energy that is found beneath the earth. It is discussed that it originated from melted magma and the decay of radioactive substances. That is why active volcanoes have high geothermal energy. We also talk about places that have geothermal activities, just like the Pacific Ring of Fire. Our country that lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire is placed second to the world that produces geothermal energy. That is why electricity in low wind areas highly depends on geothermal energy.
In this module, discuss about geothermal. What is geothermal? Geothermal is the heat or thermal energy that is stored deep within the earth, that originates from the melted magma and the decay of radioactive substances. Most of geothermal energy resources are usually found in the area around plate borders, and also thermal energy is the energy that determines the temperature of matter. Geothermal is being used direct to provide heating for homes and offices and heating application for heat pumps and industrial uses.
In Module 7, I have learned a lot of things about geothermal energy, just like where we can usually find it, what type of energy source it is, and the uses of geothermal energy. And I have also learned that we have a geothermal power plant here in the Philippines.
In Module 8, the lesson is all about geothermal energy. From this point, hot water is pumped from deep underground through a well under high pressure. At the same time, if the pressure is dropped, it means that the water reaches the surface, which causes the water to turn into steam. Once the steam spins a turbine, it produces electricity, which is connected to a generator. The steam cools off in a cooling tower and condenses back to water. After all, the cooled water is pumped back into the earth to begin the process again. To sum it all, I learned that the geothermal energy is heat with the earth, which people use for bathing, to heat buildings, and to generate electricity. Moreover, we talked about the process on how geothermal work.
In this module, we're talking about geothermal energy. First, what is geothermal energy? The thermal energy produced and deposited in the earth is known as geothermal energy. The energy that determines the temperature of matter is known as thermal energy. The geothermal energy in the earth's crust come from both the planet's formation and the radioactive decay of materials. How does geothermal energy work? Wells drills 1 or 2 miles deep into the earth are drilled at a geothermal power plant to pump steam or hot water to the surface. As water hits the surface, the pressure decreases, allowing the water to condense and turn into steam. The steam spins a turbine, which is connected to an electric generator.
Module 8 discusses about geothermal energy. The geothermal energy is the thermal energy generated and stored in the earth. People can capture geothermal energy through geothermal power plants, which is heat from deep inside the earth to generate steam to make electricity, and also through geothermal heat pumps, which tap into heat close to the earth's surface to heat water or provide heat for buildings. The geothermal power plants works first. The hot water will pump from deep underground through a well under high pressure, and when the water reaches the surface, the pressure is dropped, which causes the water to turn into steam. After that, the steam spins a turbine, which is connected to a generator and produce electricity. Then, the steam cools off in a cooling tower and condense back to the water. Then lastly, the cooled water will pump back into the earth to begin the process again. Geothermal power plants have much common with traditional power generating stations. They use many of the same components, including turbines, generators, transformers, and other standard power generating equipment.
In Module 9, I have learned about advantages and disadvantages of using geothermal energy.
One of advantage of using geothermal energy that I have learned is geothermal energy is renewable. It can be accessed and harvested anywhere in the world. While the disadvantage is geothermal power plant has been built, there will be a great chance to spend more on different processes and facilities. I also learned about signs of impending volcanic eruptions. One of warning signs in the changes in the color of steam emission from white to gray.
Human life is affected by geothermal energy in a number of ways. It plays an important role in making our way of life sustainable and providing us with a good life. Regardless of its significance, we must weigh its advantages and disadvantages. Geothermal energy has many advantages. It is sustainable because it can be obtained and harvested anywhere on the world. It is more environmentally friendly because it has a low carbon footprint, and it does not require fuel because it is a naturally occurring resource. Despite of its advantages, there is always disadvantage. The geothermal power plant has been built. There will be a chance to spend more on the different processes, facilities, and tools to be used in this site. Putting up a good geothermal power plant may give rise to minor earthquakes as a result of digging.
New module, new lesson. Module 9 focuses on discussing the advantages and disadvantages of using geothermal energy. Geothermal energy is renewable since heat is continuously produced within our Earth. This module taught me the advantages and disadvantages of this kind of energy. One of the advantages of using the geothermal energy is because this is comparatively ecologically clean than fossil fuels. It can reduce our dependence on using foreign oils. It is more efficient and more cost-effective than using fossil fuels, and geothermal energy emit much less carbon dioxide than fossil fuels. I have learned that geothermal energy has disadvantages too. Ecological problem is one of those disadvantages, because putting up a geothermal power plant may give rise to minor earthquakes as a result of digging. Volcanoes have some warnings or signs before they erupt. Just like an increase in the frequency and intensity of felt earthquakes, subtle swelling of the ground surface, small changes in heat flow, and many more.